Vampire. Got a vampire guy, so let's try it clicking new.
Hello.
I'm gonna be a woman, I think. The rebel against power, rage against authority, a seemingly insignificant man. Significant ideas will join their ranks tonight. Choose your clan. The astronomical blue bloods embody wealth and control a top level cooperates. The demons seek thrills of art, romance and cruelty. Twice an artist will enjoy your ranks. Oh, that's you there. Amanda, name? My name is not Amanda. I'm putting Nisha, okay? My name's Amanda, but it's probably not even just stream in the background.
We just said Bender on the game.
New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it's a... I don't know what that's been. Suspect. I don't know. Can't say it. I can't read it. How do you read it? Something. Superdious bullshit. Bullshit, that's a bad word. That we are all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest women in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate you decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hustled. Just listen a little longer. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was in... I don't know what that word is. Something for myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye that one you need to be born with. Well, I don't need women, okay? I just have my boyfriend, okay? And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from the within. It gave me a subtle enduring gleam. In its place, she decided that it would fit me much better. She was the 9th generation kindred, just like you. An apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me the peak of a human excellence, my real place in the food chain. It's such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart and see them for they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying you're eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterrupt her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me and her amusing subject. Well, she deader than dead now. I'm still here standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day. Some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane, having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologise for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? You're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide some comfortable transport, and I value our relationship very much. Don't get me wrong. Oh my God. But it is precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favour you owe me. You're the only one I'd trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished, but this is New York. I don't know about our other cities, but this one is fate really exists, and right now it's smiling in your favour. This is how it begins. Darkness, oh God. Your phone rings. It's your boss again. The setting sun that filled your high-rise office an hour ago is gone. The city looks like an ocean of the light from up here, spreading for miles to the north. You pick up. You were about to call it a day, forget about the world of fintech and decompress at home. No dice. One of the investors wants to meet you. His voice, as always, the perfect mix of authority and sleaze. He'll come by your office in an hour. You look at the clock. An hour. He's gotta be kidding. Yeah, I know, but stick around. He's a heavyweight. You'll want to make a good impression.
Oh.
He's a heavyweight.
What was that?
Fine. A group chat. You grit your teeth a little. The boss hangs up. 2 hours. Might as well pour another coffee into yourself and figure out how to best use this to your advantage. You suspect everyone knows that no, you're actually not happy with the current position, that in fact if it squished against the glass ceiling that comes with the territory. Sure, your idiot superior might have gotten the job only because he's the CEO, golfing buddy, but you're going to put an unholy amount of work into your advancement. Okay, times where you'd laugh off the idea and staying at the office until 9. You had a partner to go home to the night. Leave Netflix and chill ritual perform, complete with a pizza or Chinese takeout. Ever since you move up the ladder through, your hours have only gotten longer. Food. Mostly at the company of cafeteria, sometimes takeout, always in a rush. You praise the heavens for your crazy metabolism and dread the day it finally decides to give up. Rest at this point, it's cleaning lady who takes care of your apartment. Probably spends more time in your bedroom than you do. You flash back at your boss, quoting Shakespeare to impress his new, extremely attractive and uncomfortably young secretary. For some must watch while some must sleep, so runs the world away. Drinks mostly with colleagues, and they all pretty much hate you at this point. Another flashback, this time to the most profitable quarter in the company's history. Still, the board decides that layoffs were in order. Your boss didn't feel like letting people know in person, so he passed the privilege on to you. Got to hand it to him. He always knows how to pick his battles. But maybe, just maybe tonight is the night it's all going to change. You decide to play the good looks angel. Nothing too slutty. Oh god, that's bad word. You leave your blouse slightly unbuttoned. Oh god. Check if your ass looks as good as you remember. In your penciled skirt, mirror says yes. Okay, stream. Sorry about that. Oh, there's 2 people watching as well. Nothing too slutty.
What are you playing?
A vampire masquerade. It's not something you're proud of, but you've become too jaded to care. Knowing your luck, the investor is going to be one of 2 types. A self-obsessed musk wannabe in his 20s, or a fat old pervert drenched in colony. Oh, that's not good. Please don't give me a pervert. You hear the elevator ding. Time to get this show on the road. You take one final look in the mirror and fix your hair as the footsteps echo across the empty hallway. The man who approaches your office is not what you expected. He's slick, to be sure, but he seems a bit more refined than your unusual company man. Expensive suit, matching tie and shirt, confident in his stride, surprisingly good looking. Good evening. Oh, so this must be the man I'm seeing on the screen. I hope this is unforeseen visit isn't too much of an inconvenience. God, that voice.
Yeah, we did it.
You're taken aback by how smooth and strong it is, and his eyes steel blue and cold and intense. And my boyfriend has blue eyes. He's all business, professional, and treats you in a manner that's appropriate to your stature when he speaks, he actually looks you in the eye and not at your cleverage. He asks some questions about your work and tells you how he noticed your input after talking to the CEO. Another golfing buddy comes charming close to calling your boss an incomplete doofus. All the while you try to guess his accent but can't quite place it. European? Sure, but where from? I know I've kept you long enough, but would you indulge me and join me for a drink? Of course, for a minute there it seemed like he wasn't that kind of guy. But what the hell, you go with it. He seems nice enough. Besides, it's not like you have other plans. He's going for a drink. Well, she's going for a drink. The investor has a limo waiting downstairs, and the driver takes you to a high-end restaurant. In Williamsburg, a seat is waiting for you in the deluxe lounge. It's just the two of you. You talk about this and that. Your companion seems to have a knack for history. So tell me, what would you do if you had full control of the company? You almost choke on your wine. This is your chance. You say what's been on your mind for months, but hide it behind veneer of professional corporate babble. Refocusing and listening to your instincts for once. Restructuring, kicking out your boss, aggressive person. New markets, getting the hell away from these horrible people. He likes the sound of that. He leans forward. His eyes flash intensely, and something else.
What are you playing?
A strange emotion that wasn't there before.
What are you playing?
He'll do just fine.
What are you playing, Nisha?
A vampire.
There's a lot of talking in it.
Yeah, there's reading. I think I have to read it all out, to the stream.
Oh my god.
I don't think there is another way to not get it to read it all out. I don't know. Huh?
Hello.
It's group chat again.
Go away, man.
You'll do just fine. Can I see how this man looks a bit evil as well? He may be in a smart suit, but I don't know. Do you trust this man? Yes. His words echo inside your head as
You wanker.
you black out. Oh, I black out. That's not good. You wake up, and God only knows how much later. As you try to piece together what happened, you hear a familiar voice, the investor, or whoever the hell he is, talking to someone. You suddenly recall Snit's fragrant memories. His sapphire eyes intently locked with yours, his teeth suddenly longer and sharper. Oh no, he's a vampire. And something else, a feeling on your neck that takes you back to your last... Oh, no, I don't want to say that word. Orgasm.
Oh!
What the hell
dear.
is this game?
Oh, Nisha.
A company trip to Florida. A
Yeah,
sweaty
Nisha,
room.
This is not... That is not suitable for kids.
The cutie from
Nisha, that is
HR.
not suitable for kids, alright?
No, it's not. I'll have to put 18 on this. Who doesn't work there anymore.
Nisha, that's rude.
And then darkness. Yes, I'm done here. Consider my debt paid.
We didn't know it was going to be rude.
No, it's a vampire game.
Yeah, but
It
it's rude.
probably is 18 plus. The investor pushes the other figure aside and walks away from the lounge, barely bothering to look at you. The door locks behind him. Some time passes before you find the strength to get up from the couch. You touch your lips.
Rude.
Blood. Did that asshole hit you?
Oh,
So the woman is thinking, okay, did the man hit her? But I think he's a vampire, and he's probably bit her neck, and there's blood on her lips, because he probably had to feed her blood. You trying to stand up, but your head is pounding, and your stomach is like a heavy knot pulling you down. You didn't
did you know
have
your
that
voice
much
is going to be on my thing?
to drink. Yeah, I know. He must have spiked your wine. This is bad, the woman thinks. You frantically check your clothes. Pristine. Doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden, a feeling hits you, unlike anything else you've ever felt before. You fall to the floor, writhing in an all-encompassing pain and hunger. The kind that makes your insides burn, that cannot be denied. You try to calm yourself down with a breathing exercise they taught you at some bullshit mindfulness course. Well, that's when it hits you. You're not breathing. And holy shit, your heart should be jumping out of your chest with that realization. But it's not moving, not even a beat. The door unlocks. You hear a startled voice, a young man in a waiter's outfit, his accent thick with a Eastern European harshness, leans over and asks if you're alright. For a brief moment you wonder what the hell he's doing here. Everything is wrong. Then his smell reaches your nostrils. The intoxicating everything feels right again. He holds out his arm to help you stand up. You grab it firmly, oh no, with both hands, and then you bite down. You sink your teeth right next to the old school and pin up the tattoo of Rita Hayworth on his forearm. It takes you a moment to process what you're doing. A part of you wants to break away, but stronger voice implores you do. Keep drinking. One thing becomes clear. You are definitely enjoying this. He only struggles a little quickly and falls to his knees. You can see his eyes now pale blue and confused. You only bring yourself to let him go. He collapses onto the floor. Your bite leaves a mess of his forearm. Poor Rita, all bloodied, missing half her face. Did you drink just this guy's blood? Speechless. You spit out a piece of torn flesh. That's why. Where? What was it? That fucking wine. what was in that fucking wine. Barely able to focus, your heart and your lungs still motionless. You reach for the phone and dial 9111. 9111 operator, what's your emergency? My heart stopped. I can't breathe. I killed somebody. I can't breathe. Ma'am, where are you right now? The door of the lounge swings open. The man who enters is not the one that brought you here, though there are similarities. He's tall for one, broad-shouldered, handsome, dressed in the immaculate suit, but his skin is darker, and the look on his face tells you he's not here to negotiate a deal. He notices the smartphone in your hand. Pass me the phone if you want to live.
Brooke nearly died.
The man's voice is persuasive, calm and carrying clear threat. He's got the aura of viciously effective corrupted shark. You find it hard to argue with him. Ma'am, hello? I apologize for wasting your time. My new colleague got drunk and now is trying to impress everyone with her antics. Good night. He disconnected the call and places your phone in his pocket. For whatever reason, you can barely take your eyes off the stranger. As hypnotizing as this present is, though it is also highly discomforting. Good evening, miss. I'm here to pick you up. Pick me up? Did I stutter? The stranger approaches the waiter and examines his body. Critical condition, but he might live anyway. He then sets his sights on you. I know this is all new to you. I've dealt with hundreds of strays at you, and going by experience, they tend to fall into two categories. First, there are the smart ones who carefully obey my every word and don't try to pull anything stupid. I always get them where they need to be safe and sound. And then there are the dumb ones, the punks who thought they could take me on, the wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly without permission, the troublemakers who tried to run off and make scenes. None of them got to the destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given this speech before like a dozen times. So you see, while I generally consider myself pretty smart, also a Mets fan, it's my one true weakness, one that inspired me to come up with three-strike system when dealing with pups like you. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. But cross me 3 times, you're out. No excuse. No forgiveness, no mercy. As he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes, you're out. Say, I understand, sir, now. Every atom of your Your being screams for you to obey his authority. Oh yeah, fuck you, sir. What are you even talking about? I understand, sir. I think we'll go... I understand, sir. Stick to that tone and you'll do just fine. Moving on, is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them you're alright. He flashes his fangs briefly, and for some reason the sight sends a chill down your spine. There is something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you? Someone closest to you? There's no one. Oh, my boss? I'd rather not answer. I prefer not to tell you. You realise you have to be honest answers at hand. Vocalising either would make you feel ashamed. I'm afraid that won't do. Isn't it my business if I want to inform someone or not? No, it is also my business. I asked you a question and you didn't answer. That's a strike. Oh my god, I got one strike.
What?
There's no one. No, I don't have anyone. Some stranger squints at you. No family, no lover, no friends, nothing. A job. Your blank stare tells him the whole story. He immediately stops praying and gives something even worse than a look of pity, a look of honest compassion. Well, that makes things simpler, but let me be crystal clear, just in case. From this point, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grow up under. You'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you're still alive. You are forbidden from showing your face anywhere. They know you. If anyone comes looking for you, it's over for both of you and them. That participated tone, you put on your poker face and listen to it in silence. So unless you want your boss to end up at the bottom of Hudson, I'd suggest you cooperate. Don't tempt me. He smiles, revealing his fangs. There's something absolutely sickening about it. Suddenly you feel overwhelmed by a sense of exhaustion and you pass out. When you regain senses, you find yourself in the stranger's arms. The man is holding you, as you would a spouse who's had a little too much to drink. You try to break free, but he holds you close and gives you a cautioned look. Only when you sees you're struggling does he let you go. Only now do you notice the change in scenery. You find yourself in a fancy lobby right next to an elevator. The place is virtually empty, safe for a single some cleaning staff and your companion gestures currently as you pass, and he picks up the phone. The elevator arrives and the door opens. The man motions towards the cabin after you. Where are we going? To a safe place that you'll need to know. Trust me, you don't want to make this difficult, just get in. Going against your instincts, you enter the cabin. Smooth jazz is playing over the speakers. The elevator starts its descent. You are dazed and panicky, but somehow locked in a place. On the one hand, you find a stranger's presence oddly soothing. On the other, you can feel your body tensing up with stress. You can't help but think back, and the young waiter, and the eyed looked on his face, the confused look he gave you just before. No, it's better not to think about it, plus you have other things to worry about, like the fact that you're being kidnapped. The cabin door opens to the same garage you arrived at with the investor. Some hours ago, the man shows you a black Cadillac Escalade. I know that you're thinking getting in a car with some stranger man boy sure seems to be like a dumb idea. Maybe I can make a run for it. I might be able to lose him. So let me be perfectly clear. You're best to get in and relax and enjoy the ride. What do you want? From me? Superiors, is that hostile takeover? Looks like nowadays. No more questions. Get in the car.
Oh.
Get in the car. It seems like the worst idea ever. But the man's made it very clear that you have no choice in the matter. Are you going to hurt me? I've got friends. What's your name? Can I at least know your name? You'll know it when the time is right. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Listen, you really need to quit stalling. We're on a bit of a schedule here. The sun comes up in about 2 hours, and I don't intend to be here when it does. The sun? What does it matter when the sun comes up? You really don't know, do you? Good thing I got you when I did. He opens the car door and gestures towards it. You see no point in delaying the inevitable, so you get in. The door locks behind you. The Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets into the driver's seat and starts the engine. The drives away without another word. How am I alive? Did I die? Depends on your definition of death. Listen, I realize you have many questions. Tomorrow you will get some answers, but tonight you need to do what I say, and right now I need some quiet, please. You feel too confused to protest. You stay silent for the rest of the ride, even as more questions bubble up to the surface. One of them being, did you actually kill someone tonight? Staring out of the window, you find it hard to focus and quickly lose track to where you're headed, and you can only tell that you haven't left Manhattan. Okay, hold it there. I'm gonna get a drink of water. This is a lot of reading.
Huh?
Staring out the window, you find it hard to focus and quickly lose track of where you're headed. You can only tell that you haven't left Manhattan. Another underground parking, almost featureless, empty. A car stops and the man opens the door for you. We're here. The stranger walks you to a nearby door. He opens it and motions at you. Get in. Go on. In. Make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry again, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow and you'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room. No windows. Just a simple bed and a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A small fridge is humming away in the corner, accompanied by a rattling fan in the wall. You're leaving me here? That's it? You're just gonna leave? That's it for now, at least. Look, this room is the best chance of seeing another night. I realise you've been up in a problematic situation, and it's not entirely your fault. Cooperate and you might still make it. You will learn more tomorrow, but for the time being, get in and get cozy. He gestures inside the room. You step inside the stranger nods good night. He locks the door behind you. It looks very sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there filled with red liquid, no label. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's simple mattress on a metal frame. At least it's not too filthy. You think back to how this even begun. This investor is he friends with this stranger who picked you up from the restaurant. What's happened now? Unable to relax, you spend an hour or so playing out various scenarios in your head. Eventually you decide to give in and let exhaustion take over. Whatever tomorrow brings, you'd rather face it well rested. Plus there's no way in hell your boss isn't going to notice your absence tomorrow, and maybe some of the restaurant staff will feel pang and coincidence. Someone will notify the police, someone will find you, right? You flash back to the waitress tattooed a bloody Rita Hayworth winking at you over pale mess of a wound. You did this, you bit him, drank his blood, and it tasted good. What if you can never go home again? You are tired. Your entire body tenses up one last time, and before you know it, you drift into oblivion. You wake up. That hit itself, it is a surprise you barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't feel like a sleep, more like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. The lamp is still on. The act is still rattling. The refrigerator is still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You've slept for 17 hours straight.
Oh.
Maybe you died. Your breath is gone, and you feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as death if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that, but you are certain about one thing: you are hungry. It's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest and throat and back of your head. You open the fridge and the bag is still there. You take a closer look at it. It's a soup, and the colour and texture are off, and you pull the cork out and take a whiff. You recognise the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's a bagged blood. The smell is faint, and you remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating, but now it's almost not almost, it's enticing. Oh God. Put the bag, drink the blood. It feels wrong, but right now there's barely anything in your life that doesn't. So hell with it. You pour a bit the liquid into your mouth. It tastes like shit. It's coppery, thick, and clings to your tongue and the inside to your mouth like a film. Dirt. You swallow hard regardless. The taste is foul, but somehow you kind of want more of it. As you take a second sip, sucking the blood out of the bag, you feel something pull on your insides. You double over, you go to bath. You instinctively cover your mouth, looking for a place to vomit, before you find a dark red wave washes over your hand and fingers. It hits the floor, splattering in the huge thick drops. You keep heaving for a moment longer. Nothing is coming out. Not blood, not bile, not even spit, but still something in your body wants to push it out. Push it all out, every last drop. As you recover, trying to wipe droplets and regrating blood from your dress, you hear a lock click and see the door open. Standing there is a well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Emulating suit and presently look like Hawk on a hunt, but somehow more relaxed tonight, so like a tamed hawk maybe. Good evening. How was? He notices the spatter, your red hand, and sick look on your face. He barely contains a smirk. Oh, was the catering unable to satisfy your equating taste? Apologizes. Offer him a drink. Was that really blood? Not that easy to gain. You'll have to discover your drink of choices by your own.
Oh!
We've got places to be. I should have some water and a towel in the back of the car so you can clean yourself up. The car is humming in the empty parking lot just outside the door of the cramped room. You have spent the day. The man motioned to it politely, but with some stern look on his face. Inside the car, it's not like I have a choice, right? Correct, but your cooperation is appreciated nevertheless. You take the back seat again, the door locks, the stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence while, from time to time, you keep trying to glimpse of familiar traits and landmarks through the blanked windows, but it's of little use. The car is also soundproofed, so all you can hear is a bit of the traffic humming and the car engine. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door is locked, alright. A piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy too. There is nothing left to do but wait. You don't have time to think about it before you realise now that you're hungry. No, not exactly. It's not rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere. It's an abandonment and spreads to your chest and throat and back of the head. You become restless. This is essentially kidnapping. Whatever this guy says about its purpose, it doesn't change the facts. You're being held against your will. You're not used to following orders when you can't delegate them to somebody else. You feel the need to simulate of control over the situation, so you decide to prove yourself useful. Listen, I'm an investment advertiser. I have a lot of experience in fintech. Whatever your organisation is might find use for me. I don't even have any idea what fintech is. Honestly, I don't care to find out. A short pause. I'll be frank, currently you're in your no position to offer anybody anything. The sooner you accept that, the better. You push the right buttons. He gives you an absolutely furious stare through the rear view mirror. For a second, you spot a crack in the professional demon. You don't know anything about me. You have no idea where I'm coming from or where I'm headed. For a few seconds, he's quietly fumes. Your attitude won't help make any friends, and in the current position you definitely need some consider that preferably in silence. The dull hunger strikes again, the powerlessness hurts. You are used to people listening to you or pretending to care about your demands at least. The driver doesn't play the game, and it annoys you to no end. It takes you another 20 or so minutes to get your destinations at the door open. You try to get your bearings. You're still in New York. That much is certain. Queens, maybe. After me, no southern movements, please. You approach the nice-looking building that has 2-story gallery. The art hall, 2 large men in suits flanks the door both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger guiding you, you walk inside. The gallery is full, which is unusual at this hour to say the least. About 24 faces the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed for most part, but it's unclear what they have gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in the art pieces on the wall, and the atmosphere is polite, unnaturally so. Many guests turn you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you as if wishing to appraise your worth. This reminds you of your company meetings. You, the only woman in the room, slightly judged not on her merits but her standing on the list past clandestine email threads between your male co-workers until HR found out. That is not the most pleasant experience, but there's no denying it taught you resilience. When others would cower, you now straighten up. When the others would turn their gaze, you meet the eyes of a gallery's guest with confidence. Good evening, Quader, and you, child. The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back to the situation at hand. The gallery, the crowds, the strangers. You've been brought here against your will. For what purpose? The room awaits your response. Good evening, miss. You are addressing the Prince of New York. Indian, the Pahaland child of Thank you, my sheriff. But I'm capable of introducing myself. She is somewhat plain looking, doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm, but still the entire room intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people, that much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. An agreement can be heard from the audience, but I am willing to listen what our loyal sheriff has to say. the circumstances of your embrace first. Embrace.
I hate this fucking game. I'm gonna get frustrated in a minute. Right, suppose off.
Reservation made in a private lounge suggested this one sire had plenty of resources and spent, and whether they're apparently also well connected, I lost track of them. Despite some reservation, she offered a little resistance last night and cooperated on her way to the safe house. I was pleased to not have to force her to compliance. Opening the door to the safe house tonight, I was greeted by a most disturbing sight of her drenched, regulated blood. Apparently, the bag and supply we kept in the fridge was not to her liking. To remake equal consumption's chunks from one of the gathered guests, they note the remains of the blood on your skirt. It's not an elegant sight, but they hardly matters, I suppose. Moving on. We had a quick chat, but wishing to appear here at post haste, I urged her to join me, which she did without a struggle. A pleasant desperate from my unusual routine, I must say. During our drive, she showed me her fangs, speaking posturing as if we were equals, insulting me when it didn't work. I refrained from causing her physical harm, but I expect her ego might still be a bit bruised. He looks at you and flashes a nasty smile. The story ends with us arriving in Elysium tonight. All eyes are on you again. You take special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman with curly hair, almost blood and red hair, and a dress to match. You see her whispering some bescalated man with an absent-minded look on his face. Who is she, you wonder? Thank you, Quaker. I take note of this Flagon's behaviour. We'll take it into consideration later. She turns her attention to you. First, there is a matter of your sire, the person who brought you where, Quaker. Picked you up last night. Who were they? A handsome businessman. You feel tired and angry. The whole situation, spending the day in the same underground parking lot, having to bear the locks in the room, full of strangers. It's almost too much to take in the stride. There's no reason you should take all the stride, but you do, because if there's one thing your professional career has taught you, it's that. All because of that arsehole, whoever he was. He never even gave you a name, a card, nothing. Equator, does that sound familiar? No, it does not. Or at least not familiar enough. I will continue the search after we're done here. No, definitely not. What shall I do with the fledging, my prince? Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling. What for? She knows a voice in response. Come on, Quader. We all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak to them. You might not have to stain your hands tonight after all. Her words grab his attention, his face, his hard read. It's like several emotions are struggling for domination, anger, sadness, hope, gratitude and resolve. I'll go and get my sword. He steps out of the room. The way you come and you are left in the showroom with a woman in a red dress. She takes you aside and the eyes are remaining. The guests follow you. Well then, Fledgy, you're in quite the pickle. What do you mean? I still don't understand what my crime is here. Poor thing, this really isn't your fault, but if you want to get here in one piece, you need to understand one crucial fact that seems to have eluded your grasp. Last night you became a vampire. Wait, what? Yeah, oh yes, I am well aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason why we have these nice words for it. Kindred being embraced, having a sire, the fact remains. They're being called vampires, you're looking at them. They're us. You glance around, some of the guests, they're occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of them patrons are pale, really pale, most hold glasses of wine. Not wine, that's not right. Thickness and not the right colour either. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing blank. It makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night, there's no denying it. And your still breathing has not returned, and your heart remains still. A vampire, two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything that happened since yesterday together, coming to conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. We should save it here, probably. we'll end the stream here probably. I'm gonna get on my PlayStation 5.